Alright, this is the final match of the day, final match of the tournament. This is the first game. So I'm playing Seth, who's on the left side of the screen, playing as Kate. I have my NBN deck on the right. So this NBN deck focuses on mid-season psychographics, Beal, market research, and getting a lot of money to try and make that happen. So this game was interesting, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but let's just say it was an interesting game. Let's see what happens. Alright, so I drew up, and I took a hedge fund. So I can only ice up one of these remotes at this point. And I don't ice up anything. So I might not have iced at this point.
Intriguing.
And unfortunately, he has an indexing in hand.
Let's see what that is.
Alright, so he's running there first, just making sure it's not a... Make sure it's not a Jackson Howard. Second click indexing, so this is bad news. And it looks like there's a Beal there. Beal, that might be a restructure. Looked like there was an ice or two. I think a psychographics. Alright, so last click going R&D. So he gets the data sucker token. He only has one agenda to steal, so that is an optimal way to do that.
Yes, I will take some managed version. Okay, first clip, let's draw.
Alright, I really need some ice now. Because he is a same old thing away from executing that indexing again. Asking how many cards he has there, just because I can't sweep at 3. I can, but it's not very efficient. So I want to save that till he draws up later. Get the marked accounts going. Don't have any ice, not much I could do. Just start building the economy for later. Luckily, the indexing is, or R&D is probably safe because he already is indexed there. And that did not result in... Yeah, he would have taken 2 agendas on the indexing probably if they were there. Just get a free data sucker token. Seeing what I got there. I trashed. So I got rid of mid-season. That should be curious to him. Alright, so he sees Sweep Sweep. He already knew I had that. Looks like he has a Diesel in hand. Can't see what else. You see a data sucker in Kate. Okay, puts a clone chip down and then a self-modifying code. So yeah, when you see data sucker in Kate, you gotta assume that there's some parasites. Data sucker is a good card in and of itself, just to make runs cheaper, more efficient. But with now you see clone chips, so I really need ice because whatever ice I'm gonna res are soon gonna get wiped away by some parasites. So I need to stop those free data suckers. So a lot of stuff needs to happen. That's perfect for him. Only 1 card left. Get 3 cards. More Diesel in. He's got an alternate Katie Jones there. That is a store championship, Katie Jones. Alright, so he starts building the Z-Con up. He's got enough data sucker tokens for now. He doesn't really need to build those up anymore. Alright, looks like I got an ice. Okay, that goes right on HQ. I really need to defend archives as well. But not drawing the ice. The deck doesn't have a lot of ice. I think there's 16 pieces of ice in the deck. It's not a ton of ice, but it is unusual to... Seems like I didn't have that many agendas either, so I'm just getting the other pieces of the puzzle, the operations, and the assets. I think that's probably a Jackson Howard down there as that other remote. Alright, there's another restructure. And I think that's a power shutdown. Yeah. Alright, so this was a mistake because he did not run last turn. So he does catch this later, but that was a mistake play. I always do that with power shutdown. I gotta get better. Oh, so he gets another indexing.
Yes, it is. Second click, I will
He doesn't want to play the indexing yet, though, because doesn't have enough money to self... Well, he should have that self-modifying. So here's where he realizes, yeah, that this was my fault. And so I basically just keep the power shut down the trash. I still played it, played my money. It was my mistake, and so he just takes his self-modifying back, and I think everyone feels that that's fine, you know. Or, you know, it's bad that I made that mistake, but it's good that he recognized that. And we were able to resolve that. Yeah, so he could he's going to take Katie Jones' money soon and go for another indexing run. That looks like, just looking at his playstate, that's kind of what I think is going on here.
I don't think either of us should have kept these. No, we shouldn't have. First click there.
It looks like I suspect something here.
Second click.
It's just loading up some marked accounts, just building up more econ. Unless he gets really lucky on the indexing, takes 3 agendas. He needs 3 more agendas to win. There's only 2 pointers in the deck. So even if he takes 2, as long as I'm well set up economically, I might be able to do something with it. Alright, so here's a play. Takes the Katie. Oh, it's just, okay, he's getting some pro-con, so just build up some more econ this turn. Looks like you might have another self-modifying. Looks like he drew another pro-con there. Yeah, another pro-con in hand, so he's got all his pro-cons. Looks like I drew another ice there. Finally getting the ice.
Second click.
Oh, just all these operations. Just got all my econ operations right in the first half of this deck. That's really good luck. And the marked accounts. I mean, I didn't have ice starting out. Lost to Beal because of that, but it's I think it's working out for the late game. So he just marked pro-conned into memory chip and into a fem.
Charge Katie Jones.
Install.
Okay.
Install.
Get some money.
Install. Oh, lose a credit. Oh no.
Very few people seem to trash those marked accounts. I think just I had 1 trash on a marked accounts in the day, and it was just on an R&D axis, I believe. So people do not see the value in trashing them, which sweeps to get some more money. Yeah, I'm just loaded at this point. That's, wow. Okay, so at this point, that's 35, 40. 40 credits. That's might be a record for me. I don't know. I mean, at least in the last year or so, the decks I played don't build up that many credits. So at the end of my turn, he's using self-modifying. He's doing that because he hit Kate's ability triggers on both turns. So he could use the self-modifying code. So he puts on a Mimic. He pays 2 for the Mimic. And then if he installs anything on his turn, he still gets the 1 discount on Kate. So that is a good way to do that if you know you just want to get, if you know what you want before your turn starts. Alright, just drew up. Yeah, you got the Yogg. So he's going to have the full suite here soon with Data Suckers. Look like he's doing the Anarch Fixed Breakers with Data Suckers. So I really need to get some Archives Defense. Something like an Eli would be perfect on there. Or anything that would require the use of a Data Sucker token would be good. I needed it to cost him about 2 or 3 money or a Data Sucker token, and then he's not going to want to run archives to fill up, so he has to discard some cards here. Then his turn, another self-modifying, so he's at 5 memory, and he has the memory chip, so he's good. It's the kind of thing I'm looking out for pretty often. Players sometimes mess up their memory. Alright, so he drops down Nerve Agent. I think that is the Fem underneath there. That's the type of thing I should look out for more. Because that would be interesting to know, I'm sure. To getting some. He's building up money pretty good too. He's got money. Katie Jones going.
Install. I will advance it once. And then I will.
Alright, so this was a weird play. Install advance once. You don't see this in NBN that often with no ice. So I've got him in sort of an enigma here. And so what I'm trying to, if I'm in this position, I'm thinking, okay, that's some kind of weird trap, like I'm going to lose a program maybe, which that's not viable because it's clone chip, so it's probably not that. Net damage doesn't seem likely. Like, what trap could it be? A single brain damage, who cares? So then I'd be thinking, okay, is that actually an agenda? So maybe that's some sort of an agenda, like a too good to be true or something. In which case, of course, I'm looking at NBN. I'm not really seeing fast advance cards. I'm thinking I'm going to get mid-seasoned here. And he sees all my money. Takes the money off Katie Jones, and he's going for the indexing. So he's just ignoring my remote. Second click indexing. So I Resin Eli. That's really good to have out there. That's going to cost him 4 with the Corroder. Okay, so he breaks the Eli. So I'm just trying to drain his money right now. Trying to make it expensive to get through the server. So on the future, you know, this server was so well set up. An Eli into a Viper. So the Viper he could get through with a Data Sucker token. But, right, because that's a code game. Oh no, he doesn't have the, he doesn't have the Yogg installed yet. I think it's still in his hand. So he needs a Gordian Blade. He probably doesn't have another Yogg in the deck.
That's kind of how I built it to run.
Does he have the Gordian Blade in hand?
That's that way. Is that your question?
So he's just letting the Traces fire in this case.
I don't. You know, I'm not gonna lie. First click for contacts.
I'll make a trace one.
Second click for contacts. Okay.
So the first trace makes him lose a click, and that's good for indexing because it means he's, can only go back in here one more time. So I think the next trace is trace 4 to end the run. So he spends the money, spends 3 money, Kate's base link to get in. So indexing fires. And I'm not too worried about this at this point because he, it looks like there's an Astroscript and an NAPD. Importantly, yeah, he has a stim hack in hand. He puts that in the front. So I'm not, not that there's much I could do at this point, but I'm kind of looking at the state of the board, how much money he has, and he's just not going to be able to afford to get in again. So he sees the, I think that's an Astroscript he's putting on top. And he really does not want NBN to get an Astroscript. Alright, so he's stim hacking in.
I gained 1 from the previous run, so that 4. Yeah. Then I spent 2 of them.
Okay, and then see if
Alright, so he spent 2 on the Eli with the Data Sucker tokens,
And,
leaving 7 on the stim hack. And now he's just trying to figure out how to get past this. Because he can't guarantee that the Tracer's going to work in. I could just stop him. And so he's 5 left on the stim hack. He's triggering self-modifying. And what is he going to get? He's probably trying to go get the Gordian.
actually, no, I failed fine.
So he failed to find the Gordian Blade in his deck. I think it was in his hand is what happened. So he installs the Fem with the clone chip and spends some more money from the stim hacks.
Which cost another 2. Yes, I spent 5. Okay. And I score your Astroscript.
Alright, so he does all that, and he gets the Astroscript. He's left with 3 money, though.
Mid-season psychographics.
And he calls it already. He says mid-season psychographics. So he knows it's coming. And you saw me trash the mid-seasons earlier, so he kind of... I mean, why would you trash the mid-seasons if you didn't already have one? So firing off the mid-season, starts off at 6. So I use my temporary credits, those regenerates, immediately bring up to 8, and I'm doing something interesting right here. There's a lot of math going on. Look, I mean, I have all the money I need to do this, though, and so I'm just trying to guarantee I'm doing this right, I'm not messing anything up, and this is all very exciting what's about to happen, so. Unfortunately, YouTube video length probably acts as a sort of spoiler in contexts like this, but try and ignore that, and ignore the fact that I told you that. Alright, so I'm raising it another 15. So he's just taken a bunch of tags. He's taken 15, 23 tags, I think, is what he has right now.
I don't have any fives.
Yes, the game's over. Unless I mess up.
Okay, you have 3 agendas in hand? Or 4?
Second click.
Oh, you got the L. Okay.
And psychographics.
And then I psychographic up to 13,
I was like, I scored a deal.
which is enough to score Beal at 7 points. So that's the game. That's the only time that worked out in that way in this day. But that's definitely the dream play right there. And other than getting the ice at the start of the game, it worked out perfectly. I just couldn't have asked for better cards. And yeah, the ice were taxing, and yeah, he wasn't really pressuring HQ too much, so I was able to hold on to that Beal. He was just really focused on R&D, which worked at the start of the game, but yeah, so I did have a market research down there that I was just trying to bait him into, just because I was going to meet mid-season sooner. But yeah, he ignored that, which was probably the right thing to do, but the indexing was too tempting. Well, thanks for listening.